Mr. Pastis, you jerk. Hi everyone, I'm Jacob, I'm the CowHatLibrarian, and I've got an interesting one tonight. It is Looking Up by Stephan Pastis. Now, Stephan Pastis is obviously more well known for his Timmy Failure series of books, but prior to that, he's even more well known as creator of the delightful comic strip Pearls Before Swine. It's one of my favorites, and so when I saw Pastis had written and illustrated a children's book, a chapter book, I had to read it and see what it was about. I expected much of the same irreverent nonsense that characterizes Pearls Before Swine, and to a small extent I found it. What I found even more, though, is a book that hit me the same way an award-winning book that features a child's dog as a character does. Buckle up, folks. This one has a sad ending. Prior to that, Saint is our main character. She lives with her mom. She has a local toy store she likes to go to, a local restaurant she likes to go to. She likes to buy toy knights, but none that are fighting, ones that are praying to defeat dragons by a combination of unfortunate but nonetheless survivable illnesses. She goes to a party for a neighbor across the street, a boy named Daniel, who has to walk with a cane, and is enjoying the party but starts acting a little weird and decides that she needs to break the piñata out of there. So she grabs the piñata and takes it home to her closet, where she has another piñata she rescued as well. Saint doesn't have a lot of friends. She tries really hard to be a friend to Daniel, particularly because everything else in her life seems to be changing. Different houses in her neighborhood are going for sale, businesses are going to close, including some of her favorite places. And in the midst of all this, there's going to be an Easter egg hunt at the park. And Saint makes her mom promise to take her because the winner gets a limited time shopping spree at the toy store. And Saint knows all the secrets to the toy store because things aren't laid out the way they'd be in a normal store. No, they're laid out according to the whims of the owner. And if you find him in a good mood and find him in the back of the store and talk with him about other things and answer questions about whether you're doing your homework, he might deign to show you where things are kept. She's got it all planned out, and then her mom breaks the promise because she has to work. And Saint's really upset. She heads to the contest and runs into Daniel there while she's having an interesting interaction with the tree. And they talk for a little bit, but he's left convinced that she's a weirdo. And they carry on with things. Well, as time goes on, more and more changes with the neighborhood. The toy store closes. That contest was its last hurrah. Saint's favorite place to eat is going to shut down. There are all sorts of hipsters moving into the neighborhood that want things different from the way she likes it. She tries to stop the change. She grabs the realtor signs that are around the neighborhood and throws them into the creek so that things won't sell. But it doesn't make a difference. And then things get worse because she learns that Daniel's house is up for sale. And together they hatch a plan that they will work together, keep his house from being sold, and keep the neighborhood from changing any further. So this is a complicated one. Pastis is good. He's a better writer than I give him credit for. I love Pearls Before Swine, but I didn't expect him to be able to write something like this. Saint is a very typical Pastis character with interesting quirks and foibles and a way of looking at the universe, and she's a delightful character and I would love to be her friend. I also had no idea that Stephan Pastis could write this sincerely and emotionally about anything. Like I said, this is actually a sad book. And there are spoilers ahead. because I have to talk about the deal breaker. The deal breaker is this. This isn't just a sad book, it's downright devastating. It just about had me crying at the end. In the course of things, you learn that Saint's mom is actually one of the realtors changing everything with this neighborhood. And it's been her lawn signs that Saint has been ripping out and throwing in the creek. She and Daniel try to stop things, and they try to convince some hipsters that want to buy his house to not buy it. But it doesn't work. And the two of them head up in the attic to plan some more things to do. And Saint gets to see some of Daniel's drawings. And she thinks some of them are cute, some are funny. And so she sees a couple of them, including one of her being fired out of a catapult that they talked about previously. And she asks how he draws them up there. And he says, well, anytime he hurts or he's sad, he comes up and draws another one. And then the picture on the next page shows that he has dozens, hundreds of these drawings scribbled all over the attic. He's a sad, lonely, hurting kid. And that hit like a gut punch. And then the story continues. And Daniel's house is sold. He leaves his cane for Saint. It's the last thing she has to hang on to him. And she tears the sold sign out of the lawn, and she breaks all the windows in the house, and she throws the sold sign in the creek, and her mom catches her. And then you find out that the house across the street hadn't been there for years. Daniel never could have lived there. Saint imagined all of that. And her mom tries to get at her, well, why did you do this? Why did you do this? And she talks about her mom breaking promises, and she talks about things changing, and her mom says, but why? Like, why did you actually do this? Because I miss Dad. And then it's all revealed that there had been a car crash, and Saint's dad died. And her mom's been working so hard and breaking promises because she's been desperately trying to pay the hospital bills and the other bills that came from the accident. All the stuff that happened with Saint, with the toy store owner, and him sort of looking out for her and cluing her in where stuff was, or the restaurant owner who gave her free orders of fries when she claimed it was her birthday, even though she claimed it well over once a year. They all knew. They were trying to make this girl's life just a little bit better, but she pushed all of that away and lived in her fantasy world, trying not to think about this stuff. It was hard to read all that. I felt incredibly bad for Saint and her mom. I did not see it coming. I thought the revelation about Daniel was big enough to carry this book, and then Pastis went for the second gut punch. And Mr. Pastis, if this ever gets back to you, sir, I thought you were a brilliant cartoonist, but you just about made me cry with this. It was incredibly well written, sad as all heck, and the only bright light at the end of this is that Saint was finally able to talk about it, and her mom is going to try to find ways to get more time with her. And so there's a little bit of hope at the end, and there's a little bit of hope with the restaurant, but I don't even know what to say, folks. In terms of writing quality and the author's work, this one's an A+. But don't read it unless you want something sad. I gotta be honest, I'm not even sure what to recommend as a read-alike for this one because it was so out there. It's not something I would necessarily recommend to Pearls Before Swine fans. It's not the sort of thing I would normally pick up. If you liked stories like where the red fern grows, and that brand of sort of sad endings at the end of things, I guess you could carry on with this. I'm not sure what to say, folks. It was well done. I don't think I'll ever read it again. With that, thank you for listening to me blubber. If by some chance you do decide to read this, go borrow it from your local public library. And while I'm on that topic, if you use and appreciate the services offered by our public library, why not take just 1 minute and tell the powers that be exactly that? Tell your mayor, tell a council member, tell an MP or MLA that you use and appreciate the services offered by your public library. We're at a time where some public libraries are having trouble finding sustainable funding to continue improving the materials, programs, and services they offer. And a few good words in their ears might make a world of difference. If by some chance you're a library staff member, don't forget, watching my videos counts as professional development time. With that, thanks for listening to me go on about this one. By all means, please like, please subscribe, and please check back to see what else I have to talk about from the CowHat Library. Thank you. Bye now.